We'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. In recognition of the celebration today of Veterans Day, I just have to say that I had an interesting experience today. I went to American Preparatory Academy. They had a recognition of veterans today at it went from noon to 2:30, and it was really a fun experience. There's probably, I think, 60 to 70 veterans there. 2 Korean War veterans were there. And as we were walking into the hall, the gal I was walking with said at another in Draper, they had 6 World War II veterans at their little celebration over there, but they had to go over to the assisted living center and get them in a bus and take them over there. And I said, that's incredible. I said, my dad, who's been gone, I think, almost 10 years now, so he would be well into his 90s. In fact, he'd be close to 100 if he was still here. But it was this Veterans Day, and so we appreciate you taking the time out of your evening to come here as well. So we want to welcome you and talk about this wonderful playground that's been here for 15 years. And I just want to recognize a couple of people that are here. Melissa Johnson, Mayor Johnson's here, and Jennifer Scott is here, and Jennifer's sister, Cynthia B., who these ladies worked very closely in getting this thing built about 15 years ago. Has it been 15? So close. Anyway, and at the time, I was an employee of the city, and one of my responsibilities was to kind of be a liaison between the city and the group building this. And worked very closely, I think, mostly with Jennifer and Cynthia. And it was a tremendous experience, let me just say that, to watch this happen and watch what they did. And over the years, to be able to use what they did in the community as an example for other things that could happen here in our community. So I'd like to just say thank you, because, and I know that's, you do something like that, and it's not something you want to do again real soon. I had an opportunity to build a float once, and I thought, I don't ever want to do that again. So I kind of have a little bit of a feeling about that. Is there anyone else here tonight that actually came out and worked on that project? If you wouldn't mind just standing, if you were here and you worked on that project. Melissa, I know you did. Again, thank you. And I think at this time, we want to turn the time over to our city manager, David Brickey, who's going to talk about where we're going from here.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, ladies, for your contribution to our community. It's been loved and been part of the community for almost 15 years. It was the largest playground when it was finally constructed in the state of Utah. And for that reason alone, this is a tough decision. And I'm going to ask the video folks to put the main slide up on Facebook. They don't need to see me. I think the public would rather see what we have planned going forward. The Mountain America Credit Union West Jordan Playground was built as a labor of love in 2005 with the help of over 6,000 volunteers from throughout the community and frankly from the entire valley. Project coordinators had a vision with an amazing team of volunteers who helped raise over $400,000. As you can imagine, a project of this size drew a great deal of media attention as volunteers came together over the course of 10 days to build the playground from the ground up. At the time, it was the largest playground in the state and a destination for kids all over the valley coming to West Jordan. Children love this playground. In fact, that young man is in a place that's fairly precarious. He shouldn't be there. And it was school children who helped develop the original design and incorporate Utah's iconic landmarks into the park itself. It wasn't just the children who loved it. It was a favorite among young and old. It was a destination park for the top. It topped many of the lists of places to visit in Salt Lake County. The playground is almost 14 years old and has been loved by thousands. You could almost say it's been loved to death. You can see from sun damage, the majority of the playground has been affected both by the nature of its material. It's a wood-based playground. It has weathered reasonably well given our harsh Utah summers and winters. But as a result, there are missing bolts and equipment. It's broken in places. You can see on the left a tire swing that's no longer present on the right. Its worn out and uneven surfaces have become tripping hazards, and I'll indicate that every morning the park staff has to go in and fix these tripping hazards. You'll see on the right there's screws that are exposed, and while they try to countersink them every morning, the reality is people play on it all day and the screws come back up. Structural portions are failing. The wood itself is just getting old. It's decaying, and I assure you the screw you see on the left has been sunk again, but that's the reality of what's happened at the park. It's been played on extensively. The city had 2 independent evaluations conducted. Both found major deficiencies and safety concerns. The audits found that extensive repairs would not significantly extend the life of the playground and would cost over $500,000 just to bring it up to code. Repairs will not fix the nooks and crannies where children tend to hide and cause their mothers to panic. These dark corners are especially popular with our overage users looking for privacy. Even the fact that security cameras have been put up have not significantly deterred those intent on misusing the playground. The current playground is not inclusive for children of all abilities. That's why the city and the city council want to design something that allows all children of all abilities to use all their senses to explore and play. We're going to be designing something that's weather resistant, will last longer, and have components that overall do not require daily repair. Something similar to what you see currently at the Sierra Newbold Playground. The designs allow children of all abilities for the entire family to get together, explore, and play. Here are some of the examples of modern play equipment with all ability surfaces and play material that doesn't cause injuries. Towers that anybody can get to the top of and parents can see them when they're there. In light of all this information, we have concluded that the most fiscally responsible and safest option for our children is to remove the Wild West Playground and go with what we're going to call Wild West Playground 2.0. We're going to replace it with a state-of-art, all-ability playground that allows children of diverse abilities to play side by side with their friends, their entire family, all while incorporating the Wild West theme and even preserving the existing water tower. The decision to rebuild was not made lightly. This playground is a city icon and has brought countless hours of joy and laughter to thousands of children and family. We recognize and thank the many volunteers, sponsors, businesses whose contributions created it. We were very fortunate to have Mayor Johnson take a little bit of time this past week and tell us significantly what it meant to her and this city to build this iconic feature. If we can now hear from Mayor Johnson.
Hi, my name is Melissa Johnson, and about 15 years ago, I had the pleasure of serving on the committee that was responsible for building this playground. I served on the publicity committee and the fundraising committee, and during the build itself, I was a construction captain. So I got to use a hammer and nails and actually help put it together. Along with my 5 children, who at the time ranged in age from 3 to 11, We served together on this project, and it brought a lot of people from the community together. It was truly a labor of love, and through this, I met a great many people. This resulted in a unique playground that served our community for many years. It also got me personally involved in community service, and later I was able to serve on the city council, and I was elected as mayor. The Wild West Jordan Playground has been a favorite of my children for many years. In fact, it reminds me of some of my children's favorite toys. You know those ones that look really ratty and worn out because they're played with so much? They are kind of representative of what this playground has become. A little worse for wear because of the love and attention it's received. This playground is to the point now that it needs to be replaced. It's become unsafe. My children are now grown, but I have a 10-month-old grandson, and I don't really want to bring him to this playground because it's not as safe as it needs to be for me to trust him playing on it. It's time for us to replace it with something that's more modern, with something that will be safe for our children and will last for many, many years to come. That's why I'm looking forward to the playground being rebuilt and letting us all have the opportunity to play on it in the spring.
Because of safety concerns, we're going to be fencing off and closing the playground tomorrow. We're saving the engraved pickets and the pavers for those who helped fund the 2005 playground, and we'll have them available for those who want to pick them up and keep them at their home. You can be picked up at the park's maintenance office at the south end of the Veterans Memorial and Park, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Demolition will be taking place this week of that iconic playground, and it is a heavy heart to tell you that. However, we are going to have a new park with community-driven labor, with the support of the community. We want the new park to be everything the old park was and a little bit more. So we're asking the public for input on all the types of amenities you would like to see. Here are just a few of examples that will be available as we move forward with the new park. Because the playground is important to us, we want to have high-quality, in-depth discussions about the planning of the new park. So after this presentation concludes, we'll be breaking into groups downstairs in the community room so you can answer questions and gather your input. We're also answering questions as part of Facebook Live event, and we'll link to our city webpage, westjordan.utah.gov/playground, where you can take a survey or submit comments. West Jordan city officials, I believe we have at least 6 members of the city council here tonight, will be downstairs taking your questions and comments. I'd also like to thank Mountain America Credit Union and many other businesses and sponsors and over 400 volunteers that helped build this old park. In many ways, it's a reflection of what West Jordan is and is capable of becoming. The many volunteers who helped fundraise for it and build it, and the thousands of children who have enjoyed it, have really enjoyed the last 15 years, I hope as much as the next 15 will be a reflection of the past. It has been the site of many great memories, and we look forward to building a new playground where the sounds of laughter can be heard for years to come. And coincidentally, we're shooting for May 31st, in conjunction with events taking place at the Viridian for spring reading for when we'll be opening the new playground. So at this point, if we'll end this portion of the meeting and proceed downstairs where there are cookies and opportunities to sit down and talk about the design of the new park playground. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you downstairs.